Well, we are shifting the gear now and focusing on the 2026 FIFA World Cup and intercontinental playoffs. And we're still speaking with Bernard Otieno, veteran sports broadcaster here in Nairobi studios, as well as Onyinyechi Ogu-Obaroh, an African sports expert who joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. Gentlemen and lady, we're having too much fun here. I'll ask us to be concise with our answers now.
Okay.
But I'll come to Onyinyechi first. Football fans in Africa are definitely wondering whether they should purchase tickets to the FIFA World Cup, particularly in the United States, where most matches will be played, seeing the U.S. president, his immigration crackdown there. How will this then affect the African team's support during that tournament?
I really don't think, Mahir, that it will affect African teams. There are Africans everywhere in the diaspora there. If you look at the World Cup, yes, when a country agrees to host the World Cup, they should be ready to open their gates and their arms to welcome every single individual, both Africans, into their country. Sport is all about bringing people all together. So at the time when the United States, Mexico, and Canada decided to host this competition, they were ready to welcome the world. But looking at the crackdown, oh yes, traveling fans may have a little bit of hiccups going into this competition. They shouldn't worry, because the truth is sport is all about resilience. So if African fans who are traveling will not be able to make it into competition, then the diasporans should be able to step up the plate and support whatever African team that will be there. I do not see this as a force, but I know that whatever sport is, it's ready to bring anybody. They are ready to just be in support of the African team. So if traveling fans, African fans will not be able to make it because of this crackdown, then the diasporans will always step up the plate.
Right. Bernard, let me bring you in on this same issue. FIFA does say that a match ticket does not mean a guarantee to getting a U.S. visa, even with an expedient visa processing process. Will this maybe calm the nerves of fans and teams, or wipe out the excitement that fans, especially from Africa, have for the World Cup?
Well, let me let you know that a visa is also not a guarantee of entry into any country. And that is why the countries separate the consular services and immigration and border control. Border control actually determines whether you're allowed to enter the country or not. You must admit that visas are the country's legal way of, of patrolling their borders, of controlling their borders, so that all the unwanted people do not come in. Now, having said that, if there's anything that usually does give a lot of concession for visas, it is sports and soccer as well. And a good number of people are always allowed into the country for the reason of the sport, because it transcends all these barriers. But you must understand them wanting then to at least vet all those people who are coming and separating the consular services that gives you the visa because you have a letter that says you have a ticket, and the border control that says we are not letting you in because we are not sure about what you're doing or what you're carrying or what your intentions are or whether you're coming back to your country and all that. If you're able to answer all those questions effectively, you shouldn't have a problem if you have a ticket to go and watch a match in any of those countries that will be hosting the World Cup.
All right.
And it's just as simple as that.
We're almost out of time here. I'll ask you both one question and give you a minute to answer. Onyinyechi, coming to you first. Let me allow you to vent here for a moment. Has Nigeria maybe conducted a review of what went wrong with the World Cup campaign there? Oh, we seem to have lost Onyinyechi. Bernard, I'll ask you your question then. The Democratic Republic of Congo is now just a match away from there. What would be a dream return to the World Cup? How do you think the playoffs will play out next year in March?
This match actually, this qualification excited a lot of African nations for the reason that there's some things that were said after the match that really made Africa laugh and think about itself as well. And I think that's a question you are probably asking Onyinyechi as well. In terms of saying that voodoo helped the team to go through, we always say that if voodoo was to help any African country to go to the World Cup, then Africa would have won the World Cup by now. So we leave the voodoo story out. Now, for the Democratic Republic of Congo, from 1974 when they were Zaire. They've had very good players from that country.
Absolutely.
They've played, like teams like Tupuizo Mazembe have been at the club championships, world club championships at the highest level, at the finals. And that means that they've had soccer at their heart. So them qualifying back into the World Cup would be a very big boost to that country that really needs to be recognized on the world stage for better things than just what we hear about them. So yes, this was a tournament, of course, for runners-up across the continent.
That's right.
And they're having to wait for the Macedonia versus Jamaica. But knowing the Democratic Republic of Congo and their resilience and their zeal and their willpower, any of those teams that is coming to face them in March 26 will have a difficult time to beat that Congo side.